This series includes the most meaningful and impactful teachings I took from Nietzsche. This video doesn't just contain Nietzsche's works, but you notice the deeper you dig into philosophy, the best ideas are common property. One should die proudly when it is no longer possible to live proudly. To let your insufficiencies burn off like dead wood, even if only 5% of you is left after it, as long as the 5% of you that is left is solid. This is also reminiscent of one of Jordan Peterson's 12 laws. Do not do what you hate. If you can't be proud of the person you are, if you are doing things that you hate, set it all ablaze. Do your best to find solutions to these problems. Continuing to live inauthentically is a sure road to depression and an unsatisfied life. Listen to your heart speaking to you and walk down the path you feel is right, even if others don't like it. A small caveat to this: do not do to others that you would not want done to yourself, unless for a justifiable or reasonable reason. Another great one from Nietzsche: he that humbleth himself wishes to be exalted, to reach great heights. Let us beware of saying that death is the opposite of life. Living beings are the only species of the dead, and a very rare species at that. For something to have died, and therefore be dead, it must have first been living. Let us be more grateful for our rare existence. Most things in this vast universe never have the opportunity to be something of the dead, because they never lived. Therefore, the opposite of life would be something that has never lived, and not something that has or will experience death someday. Let this quote invigorate your view of the world with more love for it, and open your eyes with a newfound appreciation for our life. A great way to improve your mindset and view of the world is to make a gratitude journal. Simply stating what you are grateful for 5 to 10 minutes each day can make a huge positive effect on your mind. Your life is what your thoughts make it. A man is as miserable as he thinks he is. It is more civilized to make fun of life than to bewail it. When among the many, I feel banished from myself, my thoughts tainted, robbed from my soul, I grow angry. I then require solitude to grow good again. Flee, my friend, into your solitude. I see you dazed by the noise of the great men, and stung by the stings of the little. Humans cling to negativity, and that's why you see it everywhere, as it gets more views and therefore makes companies more money. Making time for solitude and avoiding social media can work wonders for your mental health. Attempt to take a retreat from all the noise from time to time to cleanse yourself from a world fixated on negativity. Also, in the quote, Nietzsche is alluding to the fact that you start to imitate the crowd you are around and begin to live as the many do. A temporary retreat into solitude helps to dissolve one's entrapment in being a mere member of the crowd, where society is thought of as higher than its members. Anyone who questions and goes against society is ridiculed and ostracized, so too the solitary wanderer. All things are subject to interpretation. Whichever interpretation prevails at a given time is a function of power and not truth. Being a solitary free thinker, or as Nietzsche would call the lonely one, who makes their own path can be lonely. But remember, no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. This time also allows you to look at the truth that applies to you, and therefore the only truth that matters. Standing alone and living independently, the higher man remains oblivious to the petty concerns which occupy the herd, and thus is immune both to the praise and criticism emanating from the mouths of the many. Most of the world's problems will not affect you in any way, but you concern yourself with it and let it move you negatively. There is evil, horrible, inconveniences, new opinions every single day, and you don't have to worry about all the things that you most likely don't have any control over and don't affect you personally. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Now therefore, that my mind is free from all cares, and that I have obtained for myself assured leisure in peaceful solitude, I shall apply myself seriously and freely to the general destruction of all my former opinions. There are feelings that want to kill you. If they do not succeed, well, then they themselves must die, but are you capable of being a murderer? Happiness depends upon ourselves. The only person who can change how you feel on a day-to-day basis is you and you alone. Happiness belongs to the self-sufficient. He must pay no attention to herd morality's claims of universality, its values and moral oughts, but instead must discover his own higher values to assist him in accomplishing his unifying life project. In discovering his own higher values, the higher man must realize that as a highly differentiated individual with a unique vision of life, his good is his alone, and therefore he must not preach or impose his higher morality on others, as Zarathustra advised. This is one part of a several-part series of the best advice I took from Nietzsche that I believe will genuinely help you and others. In the description below, you will find my own ideal, which may help you to make your own. You can also find a Google Docs document of all my favorite Nietzsche quotes, with a question and answer sheet if you wish to memorize them. Please like and subscribe if you appreciate the content.